Hey, YouTube, welcome. Leah Ray, Todd Getz. We are going to have an awesome conversation with you tonight. We're talking about how to fix and relaunch your course or your coaching program. And yes, okay, I think we're on YouTube and we are live in our group as well. So we're going to dual stream tonight. So I think we are ready to dive in. As you jump on, say howdy, let us know that you're here. This is really important, and I wanted to bring this up and help share with you tonight this important information because I've seen so many coaches and people who are looking to build online businesses that they've put all of this work into a program, creating a digital course, creating a coaching program, and they aren't making any sales. Or maybe they made one sale when it first started, and that's it. And they're sort of just sitting there like, I did the work, why aren't we making money? And so we're going to help you figure out exactly what's going on, how to pinpoint the problem, and what to do to fix it and to grow from there. So as you jump on, say howdy, and we will do a giveaway again tonight. So if you want a one-on-one free coaching session with myself to help you win your business, no sales pitch, pure value, type the word win in the comments. And we'll choose somebody live who's with us here at the end of the training. It's a competition though, so you need to compete for as many comments and as much engagement as you can handle, because then we're gonna select you. So, okay, we ready to rock? All right, so you've got a program. It's just not selling. It's not doing what you would like. So what's the first step?
So first we need to figure out where the problem is, because a lot of times people just blame the traffic, right? That's usually what they blame is they blame the traffic. And maybe you've tried Facebook ads and you make no sales and you just automatically assume that, hey, Facebook ads just don't work for me, or they don't work for my business, or whatever excuse you come up with.
Yep.
Or you're doing the organic prospecting thing and you're going out, you're making connections with people, and you're joining groups and you're sending friend requests and all that thing. And maybe you're getting a few people on calls, maybe you're not, but you still make no sales, and you're like, well, this just doesn't work. It's not for me. There's a lot of different ways you can generate traffic, either paid or for free. And, that's not always the issue.
No.
Right? Sometimes the issue is buried 2 or 3 layers deep.
Right. I can tell you how many people who I've talked to who said, well, I've tried Facebook ads. They just don't work, or they don't work for me or for my offer. And the reality is it has nothing to do with the Facebook ads. Like they're missing so much before the ads can even be a part of the factor that that's like, hold up, let's break this down and let's actually figure out where this is falling apart.
Yep. So in any offer, right, there's a couple of moving parts that we need to look at. One is obviously the traffic, but the other one is your landing page. Okay. So where are you sending that traffic to? Is it to a landing page for a webinar? Is it for a mini course? Is it for a challenge? Is it for wherever it is? There's a lot of different ways that you can send that traffic to in order to try to generate sale or the sales call. Couple of things. Number one is that even the appropriate place to send people based on what your offer is and what your price point is? Okay, because a lot of times, people are trying to send traffic straight to a sales page, and they're wondering why they're not making any sales. They're like, hey, check out my course or check out my program, and nobody buys, right?
Right.
They might not even click.
And it's often not even a sales page. It's a checkout page, which just tells them the name and, click and to purchase.
Yeah. This is not like buying shoes at a store or, something like that. This is not... selling digital products or coaching, right? Even at a cheap price, people still need to be convinced a bit.
Yep.
And depending on what your niche is, what your price point is, whether it's a course or a coaching program, you're going to want to do something a little bit different. Okay. And so that's where we kind of need to look at exactly what it is that you're doing and make sure that you're doing the appropriate thing. And not only just the appropriate thing for your situation, but also for what stage of your business are you in. Because depending on whether you are just beginning, you have 0 testimonials, 0 people have gone to your course, and you have 0 social proof, okay, versus someone who maybe you've worked with some people already on, on a one-on-one basis, or, privately for free and you've got some testimonials, then we could maybe do some other things, right? If you've got some other social proof. But if you've got nothing, then we've got to do some different things than if you've got some social proof that you can use, right, to help generate sales. So that's the only thing that we need to look at is where exactly are you sending that traffic to, and what is your opt-in rate on that event, whether it's a webinar, whether it's a mini course, a challenge, a video sales letter, whatever, right? What is the opt-in rate? If the opt-in rate is okay, right? If it's 50, 60% or better, then we'll say, okay, so that part is good, right?
And what does this mean if you're brand new and you're like, holy buckets, what is he saying? Because Todd he's really smart. And sometimes with the really smart people, it gets a little thick a little soon. So let me break this down. When people find you online, we're talking about traffic, we're talking about eyes on you, right? People who are finding you, whether that's through a Facebook ad, whether that's through organic method. And then what's that first step? So they go to a landing page. Typically, this is a page people have to opt into when he's talking about opt-in. So put in their name, put in their email address to take the next step, to watch the webinar, to see the training, to get to the sales page, whatever you're sending them to. And so when we talk about an opt-in percentage, we're actually talking about of all the people who land on that page, what's the percentage of people that actually fill it out and move on to the next step? Because if this isn't high, you can lose a ton of people right here. And if you don't have a landing page that can convert, just right off the bat, do not try ads or anything like that, because you're going to waste a ton of money.
Yeah. For example, one of our clients, Will, he's got kind of a lower ticket. I think he charges $997 for his program. And he does have a bunch of social proof. Like he's worked with people to help them he helps freelancers to get gigs. And he's got a system that works like gangbusters. He's used it on several people before he created his course. He worked with them kind of on a one-on-one basis. So he had a ton of testimonials that says, hey, Will's the best at this. I'm generating $5,000, $10,000 a month with this or whatever, right? And he's got a ton of testimonials like that. And so he was able to use those to put together a really awesome webinar. And so what we were able to do is we were able to take that webinar and then just run ads to cold traffic, right? So cold traffic ads directly to a webinar and then pump out sales on the back end, okay? And used, 4x ROI, 400% return on ad spend he was getting. So he would put $1 in, get $4 back out, okay? Every time he did that with ads. So spend $100, get $400 back out. And he was able to do that over and over and over with this automated webinar. But it's because he was at a different stage in his business than other people were. And it was at a price point where we could do an automated webinar. Okay. Versus someone else like Virginie is another example who I think she made within a little over 2 months or a little over 1 month, $21,000 or $22,000. I have to look again. But she had a brand new program. She had no testimonials. She was an expert in what she did, but we obviously couldn't just take a webinar and run ads to a cold audience and generate traffic and pump out sales on the back end for a high ticket coaching program like she was doing, okay, right, with no social proof and no testimonial. So we put together a different system for her that warmed up her audience a lot before they even got to a point where she would get on a sales call with them. But when we set this system up for her, she was able to still run ads, and she was getting super cheap leads. It was like $1.44 per lead, and then put them through a warm-up process, and then on the back end of that, generate sales calls. And then I think her first week that she ran this, she made $4,500, and then within a little over a month, over $20,000 in her business. But we had to go through a totally different process because she had a different offer and a different price point, and she was at a different point in her business. So we need to figure out, we need to do that investigation. Exactly where are you at? What is it that you're offering? What's the price point? Do you have a lot of social proof or not? And then we can decide what type of conversion event that we want to use. Okay, is it a webinar? Is it a VSL? Is it a mini course? Is it a challenge? Is it whatever, right? And then where does the traffic come from? A lot of times, if we get everything right, we can use Facebook ads. But there's other times where we may want to use something else, maybe Google ads or YouTube ads if it's a search heavy niche. There's other times we may want to use some influencer marketing or something else. Okay. After that, right, after we figure out what the opt-in rate, then we need to figure out what the sales conversion rate is. Okay. And this is where we figure out the effectiveness of your message. So if you have, for example, like a webinar is a really easy example. If you're running traffic to a webinar and you're trying to get sales on the back end, how many people who register for your webinar are actually purchasing?
Yeah.
Okay. And one of the issues is that people will like spend $10 and they'll say, "Oh, I didn't make any sales," and they shut everything off and they panic. It's like, it's not working. And it's like, well, hold on a minute. You didn't even send enough traffic. You spent $10. You got 3 leads, which is, $3, a little over $3 per lead, which is not bad. But you need more than 3 people going through your funnel to figure out if it's working or not. Like you need to send a lot more traffic. We usually like to see at least 100 or 200 people going through your funnel before we can make a good determination whether you're converting sales on the back end effectively or not. Okay. And what we like, and depending on the price point, like this is a huge factor. The lower the price point, the higher the conversion rate. The higher the price point, the lower the conversion rate, typically. Did I say that right? I think I did.
I don't know.
Anyways, price affects the conversion rate, right? So for something that is maybe $200 or $300, maybe $500, we like to see somewhere around a 3% conversion rate. Okay, maybe a little higher. If you're up around $997 to $1,997, then yeah, we can tolerate a 1 or 2% conversion rate and still be pretty profitable.
Yeah.
So it really just depends. But imagine that you're looking at a 1% conversion rate. You need to send at least 100 people through that to get 1 sale, right? And even if you don't get 1 sale and you send 100 people through, that doesn't mean that if you send another 100, you're not going to get 2 sales. Right? If you send 100 and you don't get a sale out of the first 100, but then the second 100 goes through and you get 2, well, that's still 1% conversion rate, and you can still be profitable with that. So,
well, and we look at it reminds me of Adrian, and she was using ads, but she was also warming them up a lot, right? And then she just did a relaunch. I think it was the end of August, beginning of September. One of our students, and she had was 8 times ROI.
800%, return on ad spend.
That she had spent, was it like $3,000 in ads, and she got $24,000 out. Like, wow, that is beautiful. But she had great testimonials. She was actually at a high price point, and her overall conversion rate, that's where I was going with this. The kids screamed in the background. I got distracted. The conversion rate, because we're talking about that, meaning of everybody who registered for her event, for her conversion event, 10% of them purchased. And she had high ticket offer. I think it was like $3,000, $4,000 or something like that for her program. So that is powerful. But when you fine tune each of these things along the way, that's when you can have really amazing numbers. Awesome. Okay. If you're like, this is awesome, but really I don't know how to do this stuff on my own, that's okay. Guess what we do? This. So simply, if you're in the Facebook group, type in the word info, and we will get that. We will set up a conversation, see how we can help you out with that. If you're on YouTube, say hi, and I'm going to give you a link to join the group. I got to figure out a way to, still working on this whole YouTube streaming, dual streaming thing, but we'll get you going. But yeah, having those conversion rates along the way, each step. Okay. You need the traffic, you need then the conversion from someone just finding you to actually opting in and becoming a lead. And then from going from a lead, converting them into an actual sale. Okay. So we have to pinpoint where's the problem.
Yep. And ultimately, like the metric that we like to look at after you've made a few sales is what's the total cost per 1 sale, right? What's your return on ad spend? And that's like the big number that we like to look at. And if we can get that number to a point where we're generating at least, 3 to 5 times your return on ad spend, that's where we kind of like to be. We obviously, if you're scaling bigger, it's going to be smaller, right? But at the beginning, we like to see at least 3 to 5x ROI. So a lot of our clients are getting much better than that, 8 to 12x, depending on what it is that they're doing. But there's a lot of moving parts. You can't always just blame the traffic, because even something like the organic, organic prospecting, there's ways to make that very effective, and also ways to make that take 0% of your time. Right? You can actually outsource that. There's people who will do that for you. You can train them in, and you can, you don't even have to have them use your own personal profile to do it. There's ways to have them use their own profile or a different profile. So there's ways to make that very effective for you, and it's at a very low cost, right? This is something that we actually do. We outsource this for our business. Yeah. There's ways to make Facebook ads work. Okay, we've had people come in. Julie is one example, who she had worked with another coach before, and she was hoping to be able to make sales with Facebook ads. And the best at this coach, I forget how many thousands of dollars she spent on this coach, but it was this other coach helped her to get leads for $23 a piece. Okay, in the health and fitness niche. And within a month of joining our program, we got her ad costs down to less than $1 each. From $23 to less than $1 each. And she doubled her best month ever, over $20,000 in her first month, just with a few changes like that. And then we also had to raise her price, right? Because we saw what she was doing. We had to raise her price. So that was also part of it. But
yeah. So looking at those different parts of the process, right? Part of the funnel where you're moving into the sale, we have to fine tune all of those. What is, like, to me, one of the core things that we start with when we're trying to fix those things is often the marketing message.
Yep. Getting really specific about who it is that you're targeting. What is it what result is it that you help them to achieve? Because a lot of times people are just too broad, right? Because one of the worst pieces of advice that you can take and follow is to just do what the top earners or the top gurus in your industry are doing. Okay. Do what they did when they were at your stage in business, sure, but don't do what they're doing now. Because
I just had a conversation today with someone who was looking to. She had this broad expertise and be applied in many different areas, and so she said, I want to do relationships, and then I want to do corporate, helping corporate businesses, and then I want to help this. And I said, okay, hold up, that's not how this is going to work. Like, if you actually want to be successful, focus on one. So if that's helping people in dating situations find lasting love or whatever that is, focus on that, period. Like, long term, if you have a vision of building out a really big team and an organization, you could add more to that. But you have to be so targeted in your messaging that you're doubling, your work essentially every time you add another focus. But because everything has to be really, really tight. So all of the audience, all of the messaging, all of the ads, all of the webinar, everything has to be really narrowed in to be effective. So if you were going to try to do, do it for relationships, and then you want to also do it for corporate business, totally different, completely different. If you bring on team members and assign them to go handle that, that's one thing. But that's really, in this world that we're playing in today's day and age, just getting started, you want to be the master of what you do. You want to be the go-to person in a very specific area so you can create some major results. And then if you want to expand as you grow and you build out an organization to help support that, that's possible. But that is definitely not where you start.
Yeah, the big fear that most people have is that, if I narrow down my audience too small, if I narrow down my messaging too small, I'm going to be leaving out people that I could be helping. I could be scaring away customers that I could be making sales with. And it's like, no, you won't, because if, like they say in the marketing world, if you're marketing to everybody, you're marketing to nobody, right? If your message is too broad and it's too generic, then it's not going to resonate with anybody, and nobody's going to buy. And the thing is that there's 7 figures to be made in just about any sub niche. Okay, there's 7 figures to be made in just about any sub niche. If you can't do that in a sub niche, there's no way you're going to be able to do that in a broader niche. Okay, so make your first 7 figures in your sub niche, and then decide if you get to that point, then you can decide whether you want to expand beyond that. Okay. But there's people doing 7 figures, multiple 7 figures in just about every sub niche. So start there. Really just pinpoint who it is that you're helping, the result that you help them to achieve, and just laser target your focus for at least the first year or two.
Yeah.
Make your first 7 figures, then decide what you want to do.
Absolutely. 100%. YouTube picked up. Well, hello, YouTube. Welcome. Several people on YouTube. Hey, Rob. Happy to have you with us tonight. Again, if you see this stuff and you're like, okay, I get it. I need help with this. Either maybe you haven't launched yet and you're looking forward to launching and you're like, hold up, I don't have any of that stuff in place. or just, I need a lot of help with it to make sure it's going to work. Or you've tried to do this yourself and it just hasn't produced like you want, simply type in the word info in the comments. If you're on YouTube, I'm going to update the description as we jump off here and I'll give you some links you can click just to schedule a time to talk. We can figure out where you are, where you're trying to go, and how we can help you to do that. You're able to make a huge impact in this space. The whole world, this whole industry of digital education and coaching is exploding. This is, I feel like, and I was just talking to another person today about this, is like the explosion. This is like a huge growth in this arena. And it's kind of a little crazy right now because it's growing so fast. Right? But we are on the forefront and you have the opportunity to build a long-lasting business that can serve you and your family for decades if you choose to, and make some really, really good money in the process and make a big impact, which is even more important, right? Like our mission is to help people like yourselves who have expertise, you have value to share with the world, to help you who can make a positive impact, to reach more people, to do it bigger and to do it better. That's the power we have our hands on with the internet, with digital marketing, with the digital education space. So we're here for you. Yes, it is a journey and there's a lot of pieces to figure out, but this is a business. It's not, an overnight get rich quick thing, right? This is a long-term play. And so you can do this. We've helped a lot of people do this and it's a huge opportunity. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you on Monday evening. We will be live in our personal Facebook group where we're going to teach some amazing stuff to help you probably with launching. We'll go back to the launching topic, help you create and launch your program. So make sure you're ready for that Monday night. Type in the word info for information. And if you're on the replay and you're like, hey, I missed this live, no problem. Type in the word replay in the comments if you want a chance to win the one-on-one coaching session for the replay viewers. I'll choose someone from the replay as well. So have a blessed night. We will see you guys Monday. Bye.